Hey folks, it's Dave Isaacs, and I think it's time for something light and breezy today. So we're going to take a look at the Beatles' Love Me Do. This is a beginner's strumming lesson. And I'm going to tell you at the outset that I'm not giving you a tab, because if you want to be able to learn songs, you need to be able to absorb chord sequences. So I'm going to suggest you go and give a listen to Love Me Do and get it into your head, so that we can take a look at this G chord, which is very likely familiar to you. This is the 4-finger version of G, so I've got ring and pinky on strings 2 and 1 at the 3rd fret, middle finger extending across to string 6, and index here on string 5. And we're going to go back and forth between this G and a C, but we're going to use a variation on C, which just involves keeping the pinky on the 1st string. So the rest of the chord is the same as the familiar C that I'm sure you already know. So that's index on string 2, middle on string 4, and ring on string 5. Since the pinky was already on the G note, this is not a big change to make. It just takes some getting used to, because it does require some finger independence for that pinky to not lift when the other fingers move. But I'll point out to you that if you're doing this right, that when you release everything but the pinky can actually be a balance point for you. And so when I let go, I'm balancing on my pinky, and I'm using the rest of my hand and arm to make the chord change. This can be a fingering change, but this can be strictly a fingering change, I should say. But we don't really want that, because it's much smoother if I just let my hand and arm be part of this. Some people might tell you, no, you're supposed to do all the work with your fingers. I rarely say that people are wrong, but in this case, I will say that it's misguided, because relying only on your fingers is fine if you've got real long fingers. If that's the case, then you probably have to keep the rest of your hand back here just to take up the slack and move your fingers around on this side of the neck. But for most people with average-sized hands, a certain amount of pivot, either forward and back or side to side, is really normal, is par for the course, and is, from a effort and musculature perspective, a better way to approach the guitar. You don't work as hard, and you will actually get more and better sound, because the additional leverage you get from the support of the hand and the arm is actually going to make your guitar ring out more fully. So this is worth practicing if it's something you've never done. And again, just release everything but the pinky, and then I'm gonna rock my hand a little bit just to help bring those fingers into position. I should mention that this G chord, for most people, does require turning the hand a little bit, because I need my middle finger to be directly above ring and pinky. When I play a C, it's actually the opposite orientation. This is something a lot of beginners don't see. There is nothing wrong with flipping the hand. Fact is, your hand is made a certain way. It's a mechanism. We want to use it. Well, your hand, your arm, your whole body is a mechanism of perfect design, and so you might as well take advantage of that perfect design and perfect functionality. So, if this is a challenge for you, you would practice releasing everything but the pinky. And you might notice, or I should probably come up close and show you, how my pinky is really bent and even angled a little bit outward. I'm landing on the edge of my pinky. I am not straight on. I can be if I want to be, but that means I've got to twist the rest of my hand. It just doesn't sit naturally. So some of these little idiosyncrasies, you might think, oh God, my hands aren't perfect. If you are relaxed and the note is ringing and you're able to get around, your hands are fine. So, G and C, this is most of the song. Now, we've got a shuffle rhythm. Dun ding da dun dee ga dun da dun da dun. Could play a C add 9 in there, but I just don't like it as much. That note is there in the harmonica part. You might look at some chord charts that say G7, D add 9, which you could do. But this is not the beginner version. That's the harmonica line. We can talk about that, but this is a beginner lesson. And so what I'm looking for is for you to get the bouncy groove, the shuffle. Ja, 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 ja. 2, 3, 4. Love me. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. And the drums catch that rhythm too. Up, stay on the C. That rhythm is in the drums. Listen for it. Hold the C, bring it down to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're just gonna hold that G. 1, 2, 3, D's. Ba da da, da 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 da. C. Right there, the bass goes G, D, G. The guitar doesn't, so you're just going to hit 3 Gs. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just play through the whole form. This should not be hard for you to follow. Now, as I said, I'm not going to give you a tab, but there is a scan of a chord charts. You can follow along. Look for the link in the description. I'm going from the top of the song, and you'll notice that I do basically the same strum. There's that variation that catches the drum beat, ba-bum, ba-bum. But it's pretty straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when there is the harmonica part, I'll sing it. Da 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 bum ba dee da 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 dee da bum ba da 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 bum ba da da G da 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 dee. Verse 2, 3, 4. 1. Does it again, verse. Notice the swing of my arm. It's important to follow through on a strum like this, in the sense that my arm goes beyond the strings. Stop to love. So you notice that the arc, when I swing, starts at the bass strings and goes beyond the trebles. So I'm not doing this. This is wrong, because it doesn't sound good. But this, bop, bop, and. So if you think of that right arm as following an arc, notice where the ends of that arc are. Over my bass strings and about this far on the other side. Hold the G, and here's the instrumental. Dee, da, 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 dee. Dee, da, da, da. stop on a G. Not a complicated song. What I want you to get from this is two things. Number one, that nice relaxed strum. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And really do try practicing it with the recording and really concentrate not just on the acoustic guitar you hear strumming, but on the drums. Because really, an acoustic guitar strumming in this setting is an extension of the rhythm section. It's part of what makes the song move. And that's the single biggest thing I want you to get from this. But also, following the chord chart. Now, the chart might be in a format you're not used to. I did it sort of Nashville style, except I'm using letters and not numbers. But each letter is a count of 4. The boxed letters on the side, I for intro, V for verse, BR for bridge, V for verse. INST is instrumental. So you go down the left-hand side of the page, just follow it along. 4 counts for each letter, unless it's indicated otherwise. And if there are more than one, if there's more than one chord in a bar, you'll see slashes to indicate the breakup of the chords. For example, 1, 2, 3. So it's about learning the song by following the map, not just memorizing sequences of chords like it's one long thing from beginning to end, but it's sections. So you learn this section, then that section, and in your mind you're simply going back and forth between one section and another. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is a good, basic, breezy one. It's certainly a good day for something light and happy. It's a very good day for some Beatles. I could use it. Hope you could too. Thank you for watching. If you don't subscribe, please do. And if you're not on my mailing list, please visit NashvilleGuitarGuru.com and sign up. I send out a regular newsletter, but basically once a month most of the time. And it will give you a breakdown of the new content on YouTube and on my blog, which is also at NashvilleGuitarGuru.com. I'm always putting free educational content out there. I am still available for private lessons, and there's more good stuff in the works. So I will see you soon. Thanks again.